Hello, hello, hello. So, as always, if you could let me know if you can hear me, let me know if you can see me. One second. Hey, awesome. Hi, Sandy. Lovely to have you. For those of you that are here live, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your Friday with me. It means a lot. For those of you that are watching this after, I truly hope that you have a great day and I hope that you have an awesome weekend. So it's going to be a pretty good weekend, I reckon, because the moon is in Leo. So as many of you know, I ran a Kickstarter as part of this. It's still live. You can check that out in the link in the description box below. But before we get into that, I just want to say a massive thank you so much to all of you that pledged, for all of you that decided to be a part of that. It really does mean a lot. It's already hit its target and there's still like 16 days to go. So I'm just mind blown and I'm so humbled by all of you. So I truly want to say thank you so much for all of you that have made that happen. It really does mean a lot to me. So a few announcements before we get into it, and then we'll go straight in. So the first one is on the 10th of December, for those of you that know Achyuta Bhava, I will be as part of a talk on his channel on the 10th of December. It's 6 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. 12 p.m. even Eastern time. So if you want to be there to catch that, it will, I will be there as a part of that. So I'm really chuffed for that. And if you haven't yet, the winter solstice session with myself and Denise Matthews from HD with Denise are going to be putting on the winter solstice session. So if you were there last year, you know we had an absolute blast. And obviously this year it's going to be a solstice unlike any other. So if you want to get your seat, it's like $33.33. So super affordable. I wanted everybody to be able to have access to this because where your mind and your energy are on the 21st is really going to matter for everything that you do for your life for the next 20 years. And I don't think we're going to see this conjunction happen. I remember you actually. Yeah, it was a great session and we had a lot of fun. So yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless the cards and the session with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So we are following Luna from now. So we started with the moon when she was in Sag, and we're going to follow this right through until she is in Pisces on the 20th. So it's gonna be quite an interesting moment, I believe. Yeah, all right, let's get into it. So why we're following the moon? We're tracking the moon because obviously in ancient astrology, the moon represented your mind and your body because it represented the changeable nature of life. And hi, Laurel, lovely to have you, sister. So what we're looking at here is what we're going to look at is your mind, body and spirit as the moon moves through the signs. So the moon is currently in, well, as of 15 minutes from now, Luna will move into the sign of Leo. So this chart is a whole sign chart. Can you all see the chart as well? Let me just double check. This is a whole sign chart. and it's set for London, so you will have to obviously adjust it for wherever you are and for whatever your own time zone is, unless of course like me you're also in the UK. All right, so the moon is in Leo. Hi, thank you so much. I don't know what time it is, but it means a lot that you're here from down under. Much love. So the moon in Leo, this is a fun, a vibrant and an emotive moon, and it's expressive and it's active, but it's not it's an active moon, but it's not a pushy moon. You know, Leo likes to take its time with things. It's not necessarily known for haste, right? And when you think about lions, unless they're hunting, everything's kind of done almost like a jovial pace, right? So this moon is a waning moon, so we do need to be aware of that. Obviously, Luna is currently starting to get smaller. She's, you know, going through that phase of, you know, it's literally like a life cycle, within a month. And I find that part really interesting, you know, so like it peaks and it troughs, and, you know, she's all in glory when she's full, and then when she's new, obviously you can't see it, it's a dark moon. So this is this next few days as the moon comes through Leo, it's going to be a generous and fun few days, right? That's the characteristics of Leo. And this few days might see us tap into the holiday spirit. This might be where a lot of people kind of finally feel like, you know what? Yeah, I feel like I can finally start to feel a little, you know, because this year it's been immense for everybody. And I think this weekend, I think everybody's going to have that little glimmer of hope. Remember, Leo's ruled by the sun, so it's light, it's vitality, it's heat, it's expansion and expression in that respect, and it wants to be seen, it wants to live in the sun, so to speak. So the moon there is going to tap us into that, because it's our feelings, right? It's how we feel at those sort of deep levels. So this is a moon for authentic expression and personal charisma. So what is it that makes you uniquely you? This is a time to shine that light onto everything and everyone and let people see you just exactly as you are, right? Which is great. It's a more theatrical and expressive moon, and for those of you that know, I'm a Leo ascendant, so that probably makes a lot of sense. You know, yeah, so it is a waning moon, right? So maybe a lot of these characteristics are a little bit more internal, maybe they're a little bit more subdued, but that energy is still there underneath everything. Wow, so this moon is kind of putting a little bit of light into your career. You know, if it's on your if it's coming through your midheaven, it's shining a light on that kind of that spotlight part of your chart, right? Which is great. So how do you feel about your career? How do you feel about your work sector? That might come up for you. Leo moon, chameleon, lovely. HPLOTRGOT fan. I'm a Leo sun and a Leo moon, right? So you're going to be feeling this extra. Love it. We've got quite a few Leo people in. I'm really gutted that I missed Luna in Cancer, because obviously that's her sign, and obviously I have moon in Cancer, but these last few days I've been working on yet another project. It's been a bit of a year. Yeah, I've been working, and this is actually something that you guys asked me for a while back, so I'm truly excited about releasing it for you. And don't worry, it won't be a paid project. It was just something that I want to do for you guys, that you asked me for, so don't worry. All right, so you might have a secret desire to express yourself more, but you might hold back because of the current times. And one thing that I want to say to you, especially in a year like this, especially at a moment like this in history, if there is something good that happens in your life over the next few days, celebrate it with all gusto, share it with everybody. I think we can all agree that this year, any good news for anybody, whether it's us or somebody else, is good news, right? So whatever happens over these next few days, if there is something that you think, oh, you know what, I really want to celebrate this, or I want to shout it from the rooftops, do so. Because by shining that light, Leo, right, by shining that light on everybody, they're going to feel inspired as well. And that's a really important part of the Leonine energy. So this is a moon to inspire others by showing your hearts, by showing your heart space colours, right? So if somebody gives you good news or something good happens for a friend or a loved one, celebrate it as much as you would celebrate it if it were your own win. That part is really, really important. This is a great time to build each other up. All right, so in terms of the environment, moon rules environment, right? Because it's, you know, it's what kind of houses us and looks after the body, so to speak. So you might find that over these next few days you want a little bit more luxury in the home, or you maybe want a little bit more of that kind of I would call it sultan energy. Do you know what I mean? Like grandiose kind of energy. Let me just plug the charger so end up losing it like we did last time. The first time I did one of these was so funny. Now that the lockdown has ended here in the UK as well, we might see a lot of people kind of saying, look, you know what, I understand that there are rules and bubbles and all the rest of it, but I'm not interested in that. This is a time to party. So we might see a little bit of a kickback against the whole you can only see so many people, because people want to party. The moon's in Leo. They want to enjoy life right now. And after the year that we've had, I think everybody deserves it. It might see you want to really express yourself. Right? It might see you wanting to do that. And if that is the case, if you feel like doing that in your space or making your space a bit more showy or a bit more dramatical in some way, do so, right? It's never a bad thing to let yourself shine. So, as with the sweets come the sours, and as with the lights, so come with the shadows. So what are the shadow sides of some of this and how it might show up? Not a time to be reckless with other people, especially with other people's feelings. Like, this is not a time to trample or rubbish somebody else's feelings. Like, let people feel how they feel. Make sure you give others a moment in the spotlight as well. Leonine energy, and I can speak about this because I've got that Leo ascendant, right? You want to give everybody a moment in the spotlight, because everybody has something valuable to give. Everybody has something valuable to share with the world, and all it takes for that amazing part of everybody to come forward is their moment in the spotlight. So remember, as much as you want that spotlight, everybody deserves a piece of it too. This is not a time to fake it till you make it, right? This is a moment where that kind of energy is moot, and that's one of the shadow sides of how this could show up. This could be a few days, if you're so inclined, where you try to be completely invincible and invulnerable. Try to not fall into that shadow energy of the Leonine energy. Try to allow yourself to be vulnerable, because when you show that vulnerability, or that it's okay to be so, other people then feel empowered to do so as well, to say, actually, you know what, I'm not feeling great right now, but I can get through it. And the fact that other people are showing that they're maybe not okay right now gives me, we all feel that sometimes, like that herd need for permission to not be okay. So don't fall into that. Try to not get into the bossy energy of Leo, because that's one of the shadow sides of it. Guilty. It's been known to happen, I'm sorry. And also, over these next few days, try to be okay with any criticism that comes up. Now, if somebody's just being a douche, then no, obviously don't take that. But if someone's giving you genuine, positive criticism or constructive criticism that can actually help you, don't take it personally. Leo has that whole pride thing going on, so try not to take it to that space. And I think we'll all be in good space. Pure Romance by Andy. This is my first time seeing you live. You're amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I send you so much love. So, what are the ways that we can use this time? First of all, ask yourself what you want at a heart level. What does your heart, in the core of who you are, in your being, whether this is a new job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a collaboration, whether it's that you want to get that coaching package, maybe you want to lose that weight, like whatever it is, This is a time over these next few days as the moon comes through Leo. Ask yourself, what is truly going to make my heart happy? What is it that in the core of my being that I really want? Ask yourself as well over these next few days, what do you see in yourself? What are your talents? What are your gifts? What do you feel that you're here to offer the world? Where is it that you can shine in your authentic way that nobody else can do like you? And this is the thing, you know, we live in a world where everybody can do pretty much whatever they want, right? But nobody is you. That's your superpower. Nobody does what you do the way that you do it. And as long as you're happy with that and you can use it and you can leverage that. So yeah, this is a great time to spend these next few days. Work on a creative project, put time and energy into your creative projects, give energy to your creative projects, you know, make them work for you. Think about things and let your mind kind of drift off, and don't kind of, you know, say to yourself like, oh, okay, that's enough dreaming now. Get in there and make it grandiose, dream big, you know, and add your creative energy to those dreams. Spend time with children. If you have children of your own, or if you're an uncle or an aunt, spend time with them. Do something theatrical or childish, or maybe let your inner child roam free, like whatever that looks like for you. Like for me, stupid accents and faces and, you know, being overly dramatic's all part of the norm for me. It's just like a normal day in the life of Raph, to be honest with you. I took singing lessons. That's great. Yeah, if you've got like a talent that nobody knows about you, this would be an amazing time to share that. Another thing that I put here as well is speak about your talents. What can you do? Like, are you a good singer? Can you run? Are you great at sewing? Are you an amazing writer? Like, whatever your skills and talents are, big yourself up over these next few days. Let people know what you can do. And then finally, share something with people, with, you know, your friends, your family, the wider world stage that nobody knows about you, maybe that you've never shared before. This would be a really time to do that. Why? Because it shows who you are at a core level. It shows who you are in an authentic kind of way. So, as the moon comes through let's take a look, you know, minor look at some of the astrology. So on the 4th, as in today, the moon is going to trine Chiron over in Aries. And this kind of, in a way, this, you know, it's going to be over within a matter of hours, to be honest with you. But it might be a moment where you really want to consider not only what it's cost you to be your true authentic self, but how you got over that. So let's say when you were younger, I don't know, you were really shy and timid, but as you grew up, you learned how to be really confident and speak your mind. Or maybe when you were younger, you didn't want to speak in public, and now you're an amazing public speaker. Think about what it cost you to be your authentic self. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, there weren't many guys that wanted to dance, right? It wasn't like a big thing, but I loved it, and it was something that I wanted to pursue, and I stuck with it. And then in the end, people were like, wow, you can move, dude. Like, you know, it was a whole thing. So that's what it cost me to be myself. You know, people were a bit like, And then once I did it and I came through all of that worrying about what others thought, it was something that people, you know, enjoyed about me or knew about me. So think about that as the moon kind of trines that Chiron energy. What does it cost you to be yourself? And more importantly, how did you overcome that? How did you say, you know what, regardless of what others think, I'm going to stick with, you know, I'm going to stick with me, right? I'm going to stick with what I love. So the moon is also going to trine Aries. The moon is also going to trine Mercury today, which is in the sign of Sagittarius. So it's going to bring some, I kind of see this, even though it's a fire sign, it's going to bring some air to our actions. It's going to ask us to really say to ourselves, right, okay, my thinking needs to get bigger. And that moon is going to infuse those thoughts with feelings, right? So this is a very powerful time for manifestation. Why? Because fire is known as the divine spark. right? That's divine energy that's within all of us. And what's beautiful about that is the moon is the feeling, which is in Leo. It's making it big. It's wanting us to really tap into what we want in that heart space level. And then Mercury in Sagittarius is like, right, now how do I apply that energy in the heart space? Bring it up into the mind. I've got goosebumps as I'm talking about this. Bring it up into the mind and then shoot that out into the universe and think bigger and broader and bolder than I ever have before. We're in between eclipses now as well, and Nadia Shah talked about this last week, where she said the time in between eclipses is a very powerful time for manifestation. So that sort of Leo energy, right? I mean, that's a grand trine there as well. We've got Mercury trine in the moon, trine in Chiron, so it's not a grand trine, but when it comes into the trine with Mars, we're going to talk about that in a moment as well. This is, you know, it's a really powerful time for manifestation, and fire being that divine spark, this is how you can use that energy even more so. And then finally, today the moon is obviously going to oppose Saturn and Jupiter. I mean, they're still in Capricorn, so it's not like a direct opposition, but it's still going to be felt. And isn't it going to be wonderful when they both move into Aquarius? I think we can all say that we are totally ready for that energy. So, you know, there might be a grounding or a restrictive energy to this to say, right, okay, that's great. Have these big grandiose dreams and, you know, project your energy out there and use this kind of in-between energy, in-between eclipses energy, but really try to think about how you can ground this energy and focus it some way. I do intuitive painting, maybe use some bigger brushes this weekend then. Yeah, or maybe go bigger with your canvas, or do you know what I mean? Like just think really big and expansive. Maybe create like a big giant work on several different canvases. That could be really fun. I'm really interested to see what you create. Make sure you come back and show us. On the 5th, as we get into it, the moon is going to trine Mars, and it's also going to trine the sun. Now that's trine energy, right? That's a full trine. So we've got the sun, we've got the moon. When you get the sun and the moon trining, that's a really creative, a powerfully creative energy. So imprint that with something. Really find a way to say to yourself, you know what am I going to do with this energy? What am I ready to create? What am I ready for people to know about me? And because they're trying Mars as well, there's the energy that you need. There's the impact, the desire, the will to act on something. I mean, look how emotive I'm getting. This is fire energy, right? So, you know, like getting into that and using it to your advantage and channeling that. When you get a fire trine, this is a great time to act on something. Now, it is fair to say that obviously this is a waning moon, so it is getting smaller. Obviously Luna's growing, you know, she's diminishing at the moment, but it doesn't mean it's any less potent or powerful. Maybe this is a time of creating something, you know, possibly behind the scenes that you're ready to launch at a later date. So, who was it? Sacred 8 Create. You know, maybe you work on this, and then, you know, as the moon comes full, or as it does something, you know, maybe next month, once you've finished those paintings, you're ready to do something with it, you know, so that could be really, really exciting. So the moon is then also going to square Venus, so that could bring up some challenges. You know, usually Venus tries to soften the edges, but because she's squaring you know, she's in Scorpio, right? So she's going to kind of bring a square energy to that moon, and she might challenge the moon to say, well, it's okay that you feel like this, but what are you really doing to embody that energy? And more importantly, do your emotional vibrations match the actions that you're trying to take? You know, on the other side of it, she's going to square Uranus. So moon square Uranus, this can be explosive feelings sometimes. It might be an earth change of some sort, and I don't know why, but I get this sense that on the 6th, as the moon squares Uranus, I get this real feeling that maybe young people or students, or young, you know, students in general, or young people are going to kick back against something. It's almost like they're kind of saying, no, you know what, this doesn't work for us, and we're going to be vocal about it. So yeah, I get that feeling. And then on the 6th, believe it or not, there really isn't much taking place with them. Is that the 6th? Yeah, yes it is, sorry. On the 6th, there's not really a great deal happening with the moon, to be honest. I mean, she's trining and it's a very, very wide orb, to be honest with you. So there's not really a great deal going on. She'll just come through the end of Leo. But I think this could be a really great next few days for all of us, to be honest with you. A time of enjoyment and fun. So yeah, awesome. All right, with that said, let's get into some tarot. You'll have to excuse the noise. They're doing some sort of roadworks or something out there. Yeah. All right. So let's pop me over here. And I think you should all be able to see the tarot wheel. Can you all see that okay? I have adjusted it a bit, so... I don't know. Is that? It's probably because I've always got my notes on the laptop so that I can follow them. Now the sound is better. Okay, great, awesome. Okay, so that worked. Oops, no, back again. Sorry. So we have the moon in Leo, and that's the moon card over the strength card, right? So the strength card represents the sign of Leo. We could also use the sun, but I'm more inclined to use the strength card because it fits better. So the moon coupled with the strength card, this could be an old skill or talent that comes back into the fold. It may be, could be in some respects as well, an old heart-based matter that comes back into the fold. This could be an old friend that comes up. It could be somebody that you know from childhood that comes back into the fold. And the reason I say this is because remember, the moon card very often represents the past. So whenever we see this card, we're usually looking at something that is either coming back, something that's coming full circle, or something that is being observed at a deeper level, something that we're reflecting on in a respect. All right, so let's get into it. As always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So actually, before we get into that, there is something that I would love to share with you guys, and it is, let's have a look. Dun, 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 dun. So, the winter solstice alignment activation session. So the way that it's going to work is we're going to be talking about the solstice and its spiritual meanings and implications. We're going to be talking about the human design perspective. So Denise is an expert. She's got like literally 20 plus years of experience of working with human design, and it's crazy. I remember when she did my reading, I literally felt like she'd opened up my life and poured out my secrets onto the video and the page. I was kind of like almost like a little bit weirded out, actually. It was that good. So we'll be talking about that. Then we'll be tapping into the energy of the solstice itself, where I'm going to shoot you off into your own personal future so that you can have a look at what comes up. So if you've ever wanted an FLP session with me, this is your moment. And a fraction of the cost of what you would pay for an FLP session. So trust me, it is more than worth it. If you want to get your seat, the link is in the chat box there, so check it out. So back to the session. No more shameless promotion, I swear. All right, for Aries, as the moon comes through Leo, we get into the 12-fold path. So we'll put the cards here. In your mind, you have the Knight of Cups, right? So this is great. In a lot of ways, Aries, you might be thinking about what you're ready to share with the world. This might really see you getting into that sort of leonine spirit and saying, right, you know what? I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to present this to people. Your mood over these next few days could be very jovial. The thing about the mood of the Knight of Cups, he's very much kind of like, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Let's get into it. And this could be you, right? So if you've got offers or things that you want to collaborate or connect with people on, this next few days would be a really good sort of few days for sure. And then for an insight, this is going to ask you where it is that you're, and this is one of the things that comes up for you, Aries, as the moon comes through Leo. One of the things that you're going to be asked, and this kind of echoes your personal reading as well that I put up today, don't promise what you know you're not going to be able to deliver. All right, so stick to what you know you're going to be able to deliver. And then for your body, you have the Two of Swords. So listen to the body over these next few days, because it's going to give you hints and tips over what feels good. And this is what you're being asked to pay attention to. What feels good for you? What is it that you really want and need? What is it that's going to make you feel embodied, empowered? What is it that's going to tap you into your... No, it's not the Kickstarter link, guys. That is for the winter solstice session, which I spoke about just a minute ago. I don't know if you heard me, but yeah, it's going to be amazing. You really want to get, trust me, you want to be there. It's going to be awesome. If you were there last year, I think it was Chameleon Turner earlier was saying she was there last year and she had a blast. We really did have a great time. And obviously this year, that conjunction is taking place on the 21st. So you want to be there. For Aries, when it comes to your fortune over the next couple of days, pay attention to your intuition. The Two of Swords is a very psychic card, and what it asks you to really focus on is what your internal senses are telling you. So when it comes to the fortune, ways that you could make money, if you get an intuitive hit that says do this, buy that, invest in this, follow that, right? Follow your own intuition. It will be really powerful. Your instinct over the next few days is probably going to be really aimed at what you can do to improve your health. All right, so that's what the instinct is going to be driving you towards over these next few. And it won't be like a, you know, like a health kick. It will be like, what do I enjoy doing that's going to improve my health and vitality? Aries, for your spirit, you have the Temperance card. So this is about you tapping into your energy of spiritual alignment. It's also going to see you really, I mean, this next few days could really highlight to you the amount of healing that you've actually done and how closer aligned to your goals and your dreams you actually are. So this might be a moment where you finally say to yourself, actually, you know what? I think we're on track. We're doing all right. When it comes to your wisdom, it may very well be that you are asked to share something this week. Maybe somebody says to you, you know, how did you do this? And if that's the case and you feel like there's a million questions, it's just because they want to know how you've achieved all that you've achieved. And then finally, your intuition. Yeah, this could be a time where, I mean, literally like the figure on the card, you could be getting some sort of intuitive guidance from one of your guides, from one of your spirits, one of your ancestors, whatever you are connected to could be coming through for you this week, this next few days as the moon comes through Leo. For Taurus, so I've had a few complaints about the way that I do the wheel, so we're going to go the traditional way. For Taurus, in your mind, wow, so the Knights, right? We've got two Knights for straight away. And this tells me that obviously there's that active principle of the fire moon because it's in Leo. This in your mind, Taurus, the Knight of Wands, this is going to see you really asking yourself, what am I actually passionate about? What is it that I really feel like is kick-ass for me? What do I feel like, you know, is really giving me that power and that energy to push on? And ultimately, how to use my passion when I'm thinking about these things. When it comes to the mood, you might be feeling frisky, sexy, sassy, maybe all of the above. And when it comes to your insight over the next few days, this is going to reveal to you what you are actually passionate about. And more importantly, it's going to show you what you're ready to actually move on with, like what you're ready to act on now, you know, not in the future, not maybe sometime from now, like what are you ready to act on now? Also, guys, just in case you're wondering, if you've been following this series, you already know this. If not, I'm telling you again, all of the tarot readings are specifically for your ascendant. There will be timestamps and I'll put it in that comment as well. For, Taurus, for your body, you have the 5 of Pentacles. So straight away, the first thing that we see there, the 5 of Pentacles. This next few days might highlight to you where maybe you're not as up to it as you thought you were, or maybe you haven't got as much energy for something. And I think the message here is to take it at a pace. Don't try to do it all at once. When it comes to your fortune, this can be a tricky card because it usually kind of says, I usually say to people, no big purchases. When you see the 5 of Pentacles, this is a time to conserve whatever funds you have rather than expend them. You know, and the reason usually makes itself known at a later date. When it comes to your instinct over the next few days, this is going to see you asking yourself, okay, where is it that I'm maybe being or not being as practical as I could? And just be honest with yourself as well. You know, when you can do that, and when you do that, it tends to highlight what you kind of need to know. Do you know what I mean? Rather than what you want to know, it will highlight something of that nature. So for your spirit, you have, oh wow, look at that, right? So you've got the Tree of Life. And this kind of suggests to me that even if over the next few days you overspend, it kind of suggests that whatever it is that you do kind of purchase, whatever it is that you do buy, it will be worth its weight in gold. Remember, the Tree of Life is divine intervention and assistance. Pay attention to your dreams over the next few days. Pay attention to your personal insights, like little moments that you have as well, where you kind of drift off into a reverie of some sort. Pay attention to that, because this card really taps you into what I call source energy. And sometimes as well, it will remove from your life, or, you know, you'll see this happen. Maybe, you know, the cards don't force things to happen. They kind of tell us what is likely to happen or what may happen. And sometimes the Tree of Life, divine intervention and assistance, will withhold something from you or remove something from you. And it's always for your highest good. I truly believe that. So for Gemini, in your mind, you have the 8 of Wands. So Geminis, it looks like you guys are already thinking about reaching out to somebody. It's like in your mind, you're like, you know what, I should just do it. I should just message them. I should just call them. Like, and it's really, you know, it's really percolating over the mind. There's a part of you that's like, do you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet. Your mood could be jovial. You may feel over the next few days as well that you're more drawn to spending more time with animals rather than people. Not necessarily a bad thing. You might also find as well over the next few days that maybe you don't want as much sort of hype and spin, and you actually want and need more sort of quality communication versus quantity, you know. And for a Gemini, that's really, really important. And it's interesting that it comes up. Your insight will likely come to you either from somebody at a distance, or maybe somebody that you've been thinking about contacting but haven't done yet. For your body, you have the 3 of Pentacles. All right, so this next few days is going to see you hunkering down, right? So it's going to see you asking yourself what your needs actually are. And you might come to a new realization of that as well. This next few days, as the moon comes through Leo, you might end up thinking to yourself, actually, you know what, I kind of feel like I need this, like some new need or some acknowledgement of a need may come up for you and might really highlight to you, okay, you know what, maybe that's what I've felt is missing, you know, recently. When it comes to your fortune, some of you could be gearing up for a new revenue stream. Some of you could be thinking about maybe going back to school. This next few days will probably highlight to you what you feel you need to know, or what you want to study, what is going to take you to that next pay bracket. And then for your instinct as well, this is a tricky one. Someone might try to give you some advice and you might think to yourself, well, you know, I'm not really sure I trust your judgment. What I will say to you is this: no matter the source, sometimes the information or the advice that we get is sound, right? So, you know, if just because information comes to you from somebody that you don't like doesn't necessarily mean that the information is wrong or it's not quality. So it's just something for you to consider over these next few days. Doesn't have to be, maybe they are, maybe it doesn't work for you, but take a moment to consider it before you throw it out. And then for your spirit, you have the Moon card, right? Powerful stuff. And it's interesting because you had the Moon card when we did the eclipse, you know, when the eclipse in your sign took place. So it's funny that you have this. When it comes to the spirit, one thing that you probably want to give yourself over to in the next few days is time to think in a natural setting. All right, this is going to be something that will either really connect you to your inner wisdom or guidance, or it may help you separate what you think is superfluous or you don't need to know. When it comes to your intuition as well, check and double check. I remember hearing a guy speak probably about 3-4 years ago now, and he said, when you get an intuition of something, ask 3 times that same question. And if the answer is consistently the same over those 3 sort of questions, then you have your answer. So just a way to check in with your intuition, especially if it's not as developed as, you know, maybe some people's. For your Cancer, for your mind, you have the 9 of Swords. Are you making moles out of are you making mountains out of molehills? Are you making moles out of mountains? You know, the other thing with the 9 of Swords as well, your mood over the next few days, you might be convincing yourself that the sky is falling and it actually isn't. Maybe you don't see the number that you want in the bank. Maybe you haven't reached a target and so you're now like, oh, you know, maybe I'm not going to reach it at all. And, you know, you're getting into all those hypotheticals. Bring it back to the present moment, right? Bring your mind back into this present moment. As the moon moves through Leo over these next few days, bring your mind back into the present moment. Don't project into the future. Stay in the here and now. When it comes to your insight, hey Tina, lovely to have you. When it comes to your insight, this is going to be a moment where you probably want to give some time over to how best to put it, give your mind over to the facts. Come out of the feeling space and come into the factual space. For your body over the next few days, look at that, right? You've got the 6 of Wands. You have reasons to celebrate. You have reasons to be thankful, reasons to feel gratitude. This is really a powerful energy as well of understanding what you have to offer, what you have to give, what your talents and skills are, and really being okay with speaking on what those actually are. When it comes to your fortune, I think that moment that you switch your thinking over these next few days, that moment where you say, oh, you know, okay, the sky's not falling in, I'm okay. That moment that you do that, boom, all right, it will come up. Not sure, it might just be you, because most people have said that the sound is okay today, so not sure. Yeah, and then for your instinct over these next few days is going to just be to really find a way to move into that space of enjoyment. And then for your spirit, you have the Faith card. That makes a lot of sense, especially what we've talked about. So Cancerian people, this is the Hierophant, but in this deck, it is the Faith card, right? And what this speaks to for me is literally finding a way for your faith to do what it says on the tin, right? And more importantly, to check in with yourself and ask yourself, does my belief system, are the things that I am invested in on a faith-based level or on a spiritual level even, do they really resonate with me still? Do they really carry? There's a line in a song by Stevie Nicks. If you've seen Practical Magic, beautiful film, I absolutely love it. So 3 people are saying that there's an echo, and I'm sorry about that. There's not a lot that I can do. It might just be wherever you guys are in the world. Other people are saying that it's fine. So sorry guys, it is what it is. Yeah, so there's a line by Stevie Nicks, and I think the song is called Crystal. And what it really kind of says to me, the line in the song is, special knowledge holds true and bears believing. So something that is unique to the way that you feel, something that is unique to your understanding, something that is unique to your own belief system or structure could really, really speak to you. And if it doesn't, maybe you're ready to change that or to evolve it. When it comes to your intuitive hit, yes, you are still here, and I'm very, very grateful that you are. You guys know I love you. I'm just letting you know, because this is the problem. Unfortunately, like everything in life, you can't please all of the people all of the time. If I could, you know I would. My heart is open to each and every one of you, always. I always do what I can, but you know, I can only do what I can do. So I apologize if the sound's not great. We're improved. Hopefully by the time we get to the end of the project, like, it'll be good for everybody at all times. So yeah, that's what I've got for you, Cancerians. Well, I think a part of it as well is to have both the cards and me on the screen. I have to run them both through a single program, and maybe sometimes there's a bit of a lag because of it. For Leos, this is your moon, right? As the moon is in your sign, let's have a look. For the mind, we've got the Knight of Swords. Okay, so what I will say to you is, you know, this is obviously, you're going to be feeling a little bit more theatrical. Feelings are a bit more close to the surface and stuff. And with that Knight of Swords, you might kind of charge in, you know, where angels fear to tread, a bit like, you know, I'm going to say what I think, and I'm just going to be all of this, like, speaking from the heavens. Gosh, I don't know if they'll let me in, but thank you all so much. Oh my gosh, yes. Practical Magic and Stardust. I think every year I watch Stardust about twice, maybe 3 times, and the same with Practical Magic, if not more. I love both of them. Leo, this Knight of Swords in the mind, this might see you being very, very forthright about things, maybe even a bit more outspoken over the next few days, maybe a bit more theatrical as usual. But in terms of the insight, this could show you as well, you might find over these next few days what you are really prepared to stand up for, what you're kind of like, no, I'm not backing down on this. You know, this is what I'm about. This is what I'm stepping to. All right, when it comes to the body, we have the 7 of Wands. So it looks like as the moon comes through Leo, for those of us that are Leo ascendant people, it looks like there's going to be something that we feel the need to defend. And it might be that something comes up over the next few days that makes you kind of have to say, no, you know what, I'm sticking by what I think, what I feel. Remember, the 7 of Wands has that kind of energy, you know, on a body level and a fortune level. This may be something that somebody wants from you that you're not prepared to give, or you don't feel like you owe them. So that's something that you might want to think about. And remember what I said about some of the shadow side. of Leo, you know, criticism and all the rest of it. Maybe I could take that a bit better. Sorry. All right, so let's have a look at the spirit and then your instinct as well. Like I said, it might be to stand for something, you know, over these next few days. Wow, you're listening in from Ecuador. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank all of you for being here. But it's always crazy to me that there's people in these amazing far-flung places listening to little old me. It's still mind-blowing to me. It really is. So thank you for being here, all of you. So for Leos, you have the Magician card. This is a powerful time of creative energy, right? And the Magician card is a very powerful creative card. Make sure you focus your energy and your thoughts. Keep them aligned to what you do want. Keep them aligned to what it is that you really want to create or really want to manifest into your life. This is a time to be very conscious of your thought, very conscious of your energy. And whatever thoughts come up for you, remember that your feelings at the moment, as the moon comes through Leo, is being projected directly into that energy. So use it wisely. When it comes to your intuition over these next few days, whatever ideas come to you, this would be a time to work on them behind the scenes. It's not quite time to reveal as yet, but it will come. For Virgo and Virgo ascendant people, in the mind, you have the Two of Pentacles. This is seeing, I mean, Virgos have been working super hard this year as well. That's another sign that's really been, you know, pedal to the metal, as they say. Australia, wow, thank you for being here again. Like, it's just crazy to me. That's, you know, thank you. And I know it's probably like a crazy time over there for you, so thank you for being here. Yeah, Virgo, your mood over these next few days as well, you might really be thinking to yourself, okay, what is it in the past that I have either done or given that has led to this moment, right? So this could be you weighing up your options, and more importantly, this might see you really saying, okay, you know what, this is the right step. This is going to see you really deciding what you're ready to invest on. It's going to see you you know, making decisions about where you feel like you're actually going from here, and what you're actually almost like ready to commit to, and what you're ready to release. When it comes to your insight over the next few days, pay attention to the things that happen in the practical sense, right? Pay attention to your dreams, your visions, of course, but pay attention to what happens in your material experience, because you might get messages from the other side through the external world, if that makes sense. And then for your body, look at that. You got the Chariot card. Something that you've been working on really hard is coming to fruition. This is a moment, so you're not quite giving birth to it yet, but you have put the graft in to see the success that you're hoping for. The Chariot card always bodes very well for projects. What it also tells me as well is when it comes to your fortune, remember, any growth when it comes to money, slow and steady is better than fast and all at once. You know, small increments of money coming in is better than one lump sum. So, you know, try to translate that into your own life in some way over the next few days. On an instinctual level, pay attention to your gut hunches, the things that you feel in your stomach, the things that you feel like on that visceral level. Those are going to be the way that the messages come to you over these next few days. And then for your spirit, you have the Tower card, right? So, okay, first things first, because obviously you guys know me, there are things here as a signature. You got the Two of Pentacles, you got the Chariot card, and the Tower. Please, 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 and I don't say this to be a fearmongerer, but when I see a specific signature in the cards, I know what I'm looking at. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen or that my word is law. I'm just saying that there is a potential there because it comes up with the cards. The Tower card with the Chariot, that can be a car accident or incident. I mean, you got the Two of Pentacles, which suggests it will be minor, so something like a fender bender. Maybe somebody reverses into your car and, you know, does one of your rear lights in, or maybe your front lights. But just be cautious. It won't come from you. It'll likely come from somebody else. So, you know, As they say, it's never you as a driver, it's always everybody else. So just keep your eyes peeled, as they say. Now, on an intuitive level, this could be, some idea or realization or big moment about your life just comes in, completely blasts your mind open, and makes you think to yourself, well, holy crap. I didn't expect to have that realization or understanding, or maybe somebody says something to you that triggers a certain response. This could be a time for that. And not in a bad way at all. I mean, these are actually really good cards, even with the Tower. The message is just to accept what comes up, because it may be paradigm shattering for you. For Libra, in your mind, you have the Seven of Swords. Now, this is an interesting card to have, because as you guys know, if you've been with me long enough, you know, this is my least favorite card in the deck. And the reason being is because of what it represents. It can have positive meanings, but it would have to be surrounded by some pretty good cards. And usually this comes up in your mind. And over the next few days, it's going to be really important for you to be in the space of being able to trust yourself, being able to really show up for yourself and say, okay, you know what, maybe I got it wrong, maybe I don't know everything, but I'm standing with myself. I'm not gonna back down, but more importantly, I'm not gonna let anybody else I'm not going to let anybody else kind of convince me of something that I don't believe is true. All right, so this next few days as the moon comes through Leo, you might have to trust yourself more than you have in a long time. So stick with that energy. Your insight as well, maybe you catch somebody in a lie over the next few days. I truly hope that you don't, but it's a possibility. For your body, you have the Ace of Swords, right? So look at this. This is going to be you making a big finite decision over these next few days. This is going to see you getting really real with yourself and really real with others. When it comes to your fortune and your finance, this is about you making a decision based on the facts. This is about you also, in a lot of ways, if you are signing a contract of some sort, this would be a time to check the fine print. Especially if it has financial or legal ramifications to it. So just really consider that over these next few. When it comes to your instinct, you will know what you want to put your name, your energy, your signature, whatever. You will know. You'll just know it and you'll feel it. And then finally, for your spirit, you have the Hermit card. This suggests to me that whatever comes up over the next few days, you will get to the root of the situation. Excuse me. Or you will get the truth. There's going to be some truth that comes to light over these next few days, and that's when you're going to say to yourself, right, okay, now that I have that information, I can make an informed decision. As an example, and this is just an example, I'm not saying that I see this in the cards, I'm just giving one example. Let's say that you're newly seeing somebody and they seem to be a bit distant or a bit, a bit squirrely about when they can and can't communicate, and you think, something's not right about this. And then maybe they say to you, okay, I still live with my ex. And then you can say to yourself, okay, now that I have that information, I can make an informed decision. Do I want to continue with this or not? All right. And you will know. So whatever comes up, trust it. When it comes to your intuition and your wisdom over these next few days, I feel like a lot of you Libras are gearing up to take some sort of journey. And this will be something that's either for personal healing or maybe even an exploratory trip of some sort, especially if you're thinking about moving, For Scorpio ascendant people, you have the Emperor in your mind. Very strong, very powerful, very headstrong over these next few days. And you might even... you might even over the next few days try to put your foot down with something. It kind of feels like maybe you'll try to tie somebody down with something, and you could be very forceful about this. Not necessarily a bad thing. A boss or a collaborator or maybe even a father figure could feature for you. Don't continue if they live with their ex. Yeah, I mean, sorry to say, it's not something that I would do, but each to their own. Yeah, Scorpio as well, when it comes to your mood over these next few days, you could be just really feeling in your own power, and you could be feeling very committed to a big goal, a big dream, or a big ideal of your own. And then when it comes to your insight, this could be a few days where you're really looking at your own education to ask yourself not only if you know enough, but more importantly, have I gained the wisdom that I wanted to? Like, do I feel like I have enough of a handle or an understanding on a subject that I really want or need? You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, whether you do or whether you don't. It's going to highlight to you what you need to know, right? So give yourself over to it. In the body, you have the Page of Swords. This is, quite frankly, these next few days, there's going to be a meeting taking place. For some of you, this could be in person. For a lot of you, it will probably be on Zoom or Skype. And in that, it's going to really see you defining or hashing out the final parts of a specific goal, which is great, right? This could see you maybe gearing up for a launch of some sort. It could see you paying attention to what it is that you are ready to give of yourself, what it is that you're ready to share. And more importantly, I mean, this could be quite a what's the word, a bit of a forceful energy, because you know the Emperor's strong and very gung-ho. The Page of Swords can be really kind of like so, yeah, it could be an interesting energy for you guys for sure. Yeah, so that's, you know, when it comes to your fortune, it looks like there's a meeting coming up over these next few days that could really help you either solidify something or come to a final decision or conclusion. Thank you, Leo Moon and Aquarius Sun. So Rafa, you're all in my space. I got you, honey. I got you. In your spirit, Scorpio, you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is beautiful. Good things, right? This is great things shaping up. And it's funny because this kind of echoes the weekly reading. There could be an opportunity of some sort that comes up over these next few days, and it could come from somebody that is either very traditional, or maybe their approach is very old school, and you could be connecting with somebody that kind of, you know, has that very stern sort of old school energy about them, but they could really take a shine to you, and this could end up being, you know, it could end up being really great for you in the long run if you can find a way to navigate this person's personality. You know, whatever that means to you. On an intuitive level, pay attention to the synchronicities this week, right? The Wheel of Fortune is always right place, right time, big opportunity. It's the results of the hard work or efforts that we've already put in. So this could come up for you over these next few days. Sagittarius, for your mind, you have, look at that, the Queen of Cups. So this is going to see you paying attention to what you're ready to nurture and nourish in your life. In a lot of ways as well, your mother, your wife, your partner, your children may want or need or possibly even demand a little bit more from you than you are either giving or able to give at this moment in time. And if that is the case, just find a way to navigate it. But also, remember, nurturing and nourishing others is also, you know, you can't give from a space of emptiness. And so this is probably a moment where you need to look at how you're nurturing or nourishing yourself as well as others. Are you giving time and energy to yourself as much as you're giving to everybody else? Is your cup full? You know, are you giving that energy to yourself? Your insight over the next few days, pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to your internal energies and drives. What do your feelings tell you that you want or need? What needs are being met and what needs aren't being met? For your body, you have the Three of Cups. So this is just fun, vibrant, happy, excitable energy. You know, these next few days you could be feeling a lot more jovial. You could just be feeling a bit more like mischievous as well, right? And not from like a mean sort of perspective, but you could just be feeling a bit more like, haha, you know, I'm going to play a practical joke, or maybe I'm going to connect with friends or reach out to people, which is lovely. When it comes to your fortune and your finances, this for me, it feels like an idea, right? It feels like an idea that comes up and you put it down and you're like, no, not yet. and it comes back, and you're like, no, not yet, and it comes back. If it comes up again over these next few days, this is a message for you. This is, if it keeps coming up like that and you keep ignoring it, one thing that I found with all of this work that I do now, the knock, and sometimes I mean literal knocks on walls, windows. It got to the point where in my space where I lived, people would notice taps and knocks, and they'd be like, what the fuck is that? Excuse my language. And I would say to them, don't worry, it just keeps happening. And it got to the point where it got so loud in the end that I was like, okay, fine. You've told me what you want me to do. I will do it. And this is how I continue to pick up the path and build on it. So whatever that idea is, Saggies, that keeps coming up for you, it's not going anywhere until you fulfill it. So this might be the time that you need to get on it. And then you got the Star card, right? So look at that with the Three of Cups. That's connections, right? This could be online connections. It could be friends. It could be hangouts. It could be literal connections. It could be, I mean, this is a great few days as well for Sagittarius. Connect with your parents. You know, even if your relationship is not necessarily great with them, connect with them. You might gain something from it. If you're, you know, if you're not in touch with any of your family, who are the family that you choose? Connect with those people, because there's messages, there's insights, and there's also a little bit of fun to be had as well, which is great. I think we can all agree we need light-hearted energy. It's been a really interesting and intense year. For your intuition over these next few as well, it's going to be coming through. The more you communicate with people over these next few days, the more insight and intuitive hits or vibes you're going to pick up. For Capricorn, in your mind, wow, look at that. Capricorns show up as themselves. So Queen of Pentacles would usually be a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo person or woman. And you've got this in your mind, right? So you're looking at the practicalities. You're asking yourself some of those bigger, deeper questions. Is what I have at the moment enough? Is it doing the job? Is there something that needs to be tuned up? You're like, this is you looking at all of the practicalities. And it may even as well, some of you might come up with a money-making idea, or maybe a new revenue stream, or something that you think, actually, you know what? I could do that. I could do that on top of my job or alongside my job. You know, it might see you really paying attention to that, which is nice. Your mood could be very focused over these next few days. So, but the funny thing is, I kind of feel like this is not a chore for you. You know, like, and when you think about Capricorns, they know how to focus better than most. So yeah, and the insight that you're going to get could be about your material life or experience. When it comes to your body, wow, look at that. If you've ever wanted your body, your fortune, your instinct, if you've ever wanted to create a side hustle, a business, if you have wanted to create a new revenue stream, Capricorn, these next few days, brainstorm, get stuff down on paper, write spidergrams, you know, tap into all of those old things that you thought, one day I'd like to do that. Like, is there a message or a hint? Is there money to be made in that place or that space for you? Really, really powerful stuff over these next few days. Your instinct could be really to pay attention to what your soul wants and needs at this moment in time. And I think that's a really worthy use of your time. And then for your Spirit card, you have the Judgment card. So this is literally, again, you know, like an idea or something that you wanted to do coming back into the fold. But it is the Judgment card, right? So what this tends to tell you is that there are big changes on the horizon for you on a material level, which makes total sense, because if you're an ascendant Capricorn, so remember these tarot readings are for the ascendant. If you're an ascendant Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn are going to conjunct at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is your true second house. We're talking money, okay? We're talking about them Benjis, right? So you've got the Judgment card there, which brings massive changes, a new era of something about to begin or about to start. So, you know, powerful stuff. Pay attention over these next couple of days, because it's going to highlight to you what that might look like. Exciting. For Aquarius, my sun-sign brothers and sisters, you got the 6 of Cups. All right, so the mind is nostalgic, and it's kind of like, oh, These next couple of days as well, Aquarius, um, you might find yourself reminiscing over maybe the one that got away, or do you know what I mean? Like, it could be that kind of energy, or you could be thinking about somebody from your past, from your childhood, maybe a friend or a colleague. You know, and you could be hearing from them and you could be totally surprised by that. For some of you, you might literally be thinking, you know what, I need to take a trip to dot dot dot. And when it comes to your mood, it's going to be warm and nostalgic. You know, this could be a couple of days where, you know, maybe you want to eat things that you ate when you were younger. Maybe you want to, I don't know, you know, hunt down your favorite sweets from when you were a teenager, or do you know what I mean? Like, it could be all stuff like that, and you're going to be in that mood, and I think it's great, and your insight could come. Like, I remember having a big insight for myself a little while back, and this was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was just sitting one day and I was thinking about something, and I remember hearing from a friend, like an old friend, and I had this inkling, and it was like, I looked back over my life path and I was like, well, holy crap. You know, when I looked at everything that I'd done, all of the experiences that I'd had, all of the things that I was into or enjoyed or felt really drawn to, it all, you know, seamlessly in a way actually led me to where I am. And I thought, wow, it's always been going this way. You could have that kind of insight of, wow, this is why that happened in my life. This is why I met this person. This is why I felt drawn to that. And then where you are now, you could be like, this is how I ended up here. Lovely. Anyone else not sleeping 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. this week? Do you know what? It's really funny you say that, because the last 2-3 days I just haven't been able to sleep. Like, once I'm asleep, I'm okay there. But getting to sleep has been bloody intense, man. For the Aquarius body, we have the 8 of Pentacles. I mean, you know, this could see you working really hard, paying attention to the work, the job, the career. It could see you really focused over these next few days on what it is that your skill set allows you to do. And when it comes to your fortune, you could be saying to yourself, now I need to apply these skills. I need to apply this that I did 5 years ago to what I'm doing now. I need to apply this new skill that I'm gaining at this moment in time to what I'm doing now, which is, you know, is lovely. For your instinct as well, you will know over these next few days, you'll know what you need to work on, and it might be something to do, you know, it might be something to do with your the way that you relate to or connect to people. It might have something to do with that. And, you know, an old connection looks like it's going to highlight something to you, and it might be an old work colleague, it might be an old partner, it might be an old friend. In the spirit, look at that, we've got the World card, right? So Aquarius, over these next few days, you're going to really come into the understanding of where you are ready to ascend, where you're ready to accept your mastery, and more importantly, where you're ready to acknowledge that you've already done the hard work or the heavy lifting, which is very, very powerful and very, very potent when it comes to your wisdom and your intuition over these next few days. The big question that it looks like you're asking yourself more than anything else is going to be, have I, or rather, am I ready to step out of what I'm doing? Because the thing is with Aquarius, they like to finish things properly. They hate leaving loose ends and stuff. And I know a lot of you might sort of say, really? Aquarius is most prone to ghosting. And it's usually because in their minds, they think, you know what, I've closed it down properly. But this could really highlight to you where maybe you need to consider something, you know, closing something down. And it's funny that this message comes up. Although I'm not an ascendant Aquarius, I am in a personal year 9. And this year I made sure that I went through my entire memory banks, my history banks, and started to really, on a mentally and emotionally and even energetically level, to close things down, to sever, you know, the ties or the strings that were no longer not relevant, but the you know, it's kind of like having too many tabs open on the computer, kind of like that. thunder and snow here in Scotland. Oof. Sorry to hear that. I hope you're all right. Makes for a cozy day though. And then finally for Pisces, in your mind you have the Four of Cups. So this is nice because it suggests to me that over the next few days you're probably going to come out of this energy of being in a funk. Maybe you're going to start feeling a bit more jovial and a bit more happy. And also, I kind of feel like this is you moving into that understanding and the mood where it's like, you know what, I might not have exactly what I want yet, but I know it's on its way. You could just be feeling that internal sort of like, I know it's not here yet, but I get the sense that it's not far off. Do you know what I mean? And that's great, right? Because that means you're going to manifest it. Love it. For your insight, it's likely to come in a way that you're not expecting. So, you know, whatever it is that you're asked to do, just keep showing up is the message over these next couple of days. For your body, look at that. You got the king. Charms, if you're watching this, the King of Pentacles over the next few days is going to show up, right? So your King of Pentacles could be an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo. And when it comes to your body, this is about you feeling a little bit strong. Sorry, that really freaked me out then. I just read that, L.A. Taylor. This could be you feeling quite strong in your physical self. When it comes to your money and your fortune, I think over these next few days, you're going to come into the realization of how well you've actually done throughout 2020. Or 2020, and I think in a lot of ways this is going to see you solidifying a big either physical, material or financial goal, or certainly getting it down on paper so that you can start chunking it down, which is really, really great. For some of you as well, this might literally be you connecting with somebody that you don't know, somebody that is new to you. So, and your instinct as well, your instinct could lead you to something that could be quite lucrative for you, or could transform the way that you see connections with other people. And then finally for your spirit card, oh, look at that, right? Look at that, beautiful. So you have the Sun card, right? So good things are coming. The wonderful sense of optimism and transformation and change that you feel over these next few days, Pisces, you are more than warranted in feeling that, because it's true, right? You got the Sun card. What you're intuiting, what you're feeling is that things are about to get better for you. Things are about to get really great for you. And that energy that you're putting out there is going to magnify, and it's going to bring good things to you to validate your feeling. So keep that vibration up, my dear Pisceans. And then for your wisdom and intuition, look for the light. Right? The sun is the ultimate light of all things. Look for the light in whatever you're experiencing, if it's heavy, if it's hard, if it's challenging. And this isn't about like, oh, you know, just tell yourself that it's better than it is. What I'm saying is, no matter what your experience at the moment, no matter what your experience has been, look for the light. Even if it's just a pinprick of it, find that thing. Right, in all of the experience that you're having, and magnify that. Focus and intently focus on that. No matter how small that pinprick of light, if it's only a pinprick, focus on that. Use that pinprick to block out everything else. Focus on that at the moment. And when it comes to your intuition, let it lead you to that. Waking up between 2 and 4. A lot of people are feeling this at the moment. Big shifts taking place, guys. Big shifts taking place. I mean, you know, that conjunction that's coming up is just going to be huge. And you know, it's not going to be a cure-all, and it's not like one day we wake up and it's kind of all over. It will be a slow and steady build, but I feel like a lot of us, maybe by the end of the year, you know, by the time we get to sort of like the 29th, 30th, 31st of December, we can all just kind of go, you know what? I can breathe a little bit easier. I feel a little bit lighter. So beautiful energy. I'll tell you a story. In 2016, in the place that I live called Slough, we had one of the worst storms that we've ever had on record, and somebody's house was struck by lightning and burned down. It was kind of like that kind of storm, and I shit you not, excuse my language, I was deeply asleep, because I'm a really deep sleeper. I'm not one of the, I don't have any problems getting to sleep, sleeping when I'm asleep. It's the get into the sleep that's sometimes a bit iffy. But I tell you, one day there was this rumble of thunder, like literally the ground shook, and it woke me. And then all of a sudden, I swear I've never seen the sky light up so bright in my entire life, right? I crapped myself, and I literally, the first thought that I had was, oh my gosh, this is it. The world is ending, and I'm about to meet the final secret. You know, I'm about to learn the final secret. It's all over. I kid you not. And the boom of thunder that followed this lightning, I jumped about a foot out of my bed. I will never forget that. Yeah. So I hear you when you say, like, you know, being woken up by a storm. Just a funny little anecdote there for you. But listen, guys, that is the 12-fold path. That's the moon coming through Leo. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this and watching. Thank you for all of your subscribes, your likes, your shares, for all of you that comment, all of you that take time out of your day to share with me, to watch my videos, to just be a part of Radiant Reality. I cannot tell you how much it means to me, and I'm truly, truly grateful. So have an amazing day, have an amazing weekend time of it. Thank you for being here again, and I send you all so much love, and I will see you again when the moon moves into Virgo. So take care, and I will see you soon. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff.